Okonomiyaki is really famous for two regions. There's the Kansai okonomiyaki, and then there happens to be the okonomiyaki of Hiroshima.
We're at one of the okonomiyaki shops called Takaya, and we're going to show you how they make okonomiyaki in Hiroshima.
Hiroshima on the rocks.
This place is consistently, I think, been in the top 10, top 20 okonomiyaki places in the city. Okonomiyaki is sort of like a home-cooked, kind of like soul food for Japan. But in Osaka, they just mix all of the different ingredients together, whereas in Hiroshima, they layer them. And they start off with a really thin pancake. And then on top of that, they'll put bonito flakes, cabbage, meat. As that's cooking then, they crack an egg. And then they flip the entire pancake on top of the egg. And then on top of that, they put a little aonori and the special sauce. And each different place has a specific type of sauce. And when you order okonomiyaki, you can choose from two different types of noodles. You can choose soba, which is the thinner, almost Chinese-style noodle. And that's the most popular. That's the regular style. And then there's udon, which is a fatter, moister. The moister type of noodle. When you eat Hiroshima-style okonomiyaki, the Hiroshima-style means you eat it right off the grill with the actual okonomiyaki spatula.
This is a spatula. Not your normal spatula. Yep. So for okonomiyaki, you don't eat it with chopsticks or spoons or forks or knives. You eat it with this thing. Know that this gives you power in the okonomiyaki store. Then I'm singing it in Korean.
Sometimes it can be a little hot and, it's kind of dangerous, I think. But, in Japan, there really isn't that lawsuit culture that we have in America. And one of the stories that we talk about, and my teachers have told me so many times this story about how they tried to open an okonomiyaki restaurant in New York and how it didn't last very long because somebody inevitably ended up burning themselves on the grill and there was a lawsuit and somebody sued and they had to shut the place down. Also, from what I've heard, I'm not sure, but the time that people eat okonomiyaki in Hiroshima is a little bit different from most places. I believe in Osaka people eat okonomiyaki like early evening before going out to drink, whereas in Hiroshima it's really known as that like soak up the alcohol food, like after a night of heavy drinking and you need to eat something, you go out and get okonomiyaki, and I think that really only exists here in this city.
This is one of our favorite okonomiyaki places in Hiroshima, actually, because of what they do with the noodles. They actually brown them. Yeah, they're a little crispier.
And Takaya is also another example of how like they're like mom and pop shops. Like people run them in like the first floor of their houses, and they have their secret recipe, and so they're really small, very intimate places to eat. And so you have to eat and get out, and the turnover is really quick, especially if it's a popular place. Authentic okonomiyaki is made in the home, so it's a home-cooked meal. So you want to go to the small places where the grandma is cooking or the mother is cooking to get the true taste. But because it's such a tourist phenomenon, they've created these big places so they can fit in a lot of people. If you really, really want to have true Hiroshima okonomiyaki, you have to go to a small place like Takaya or have it in a home.
Hiroshima on the rocks.